Hey guys, welcome back to Becoming Unrivaled. This is the third and final part to our mini series on how to have your cake and eating it too. How to have your cake and eat it too. In part one, we discussed the importance of having the strategic refeed day. And we spoke about the thermostat and the thermometer and how to not do metabolic damage. And you might relate to this because you or maybe someone you know has gone on a little bit of a challenge, maybe an 8 week, a 10 week, 12 week, whatever week it may be, bit of a challenge, and they've lost or they've had some sort of results, and then not too long after that, their results that they just achieved, they now start to look and feel how they were prior to the starting the challenge, and then maybe 10 weeks later, they're actually in a worse off position than they were when they started the challenge. Now, we spoke about the reasons why about that in part one, so go to listen to that. Part two was what type of cake you can have and when to have it. And we spoke about the differences between the calories, the macros, and the micros, and how you can be empowered to make a better choice. Now, in this part, in part three, we're going to summarize everything up to give you an actionable weekly guideline for those people that love the numbers, that want to track the calories and the macros, and now they've just found out about the micros or something like that. This week or this part might give you a bit of a visual on what that may look and feel like into your week. Ty, welcome back. Hit us off.
Thanks, Ben. I always get nervous when you say the final part and all that, because that's what we said on part two after we went. That was great. We were all wrapped up, and I was like, well, hang on a second. Are we like, remember, in Unrivaled, all of our pyramids, they don't have tops because they're ever expanding, ever growing. So this could just be part three of 333. I'm not really sure.
Next episode, I'm going to introduce that this is the fourth and final part to our...
Yeah, please do. And look, as we wrapped up part two, I just thought, God, there could be some people out there, like myself, or, we're all biologically individual, and that's why we get our DNA tested to find out where to start. And so there might be some people out there saying, I like this idea of a diet break or a structured refeed and once a week or twice a week and once every 4 weeks. But what the hell does that look like? Like, what does that look like, for me or for an actual individual? What does a structure look like? And I just want to do a quick little run through about what that looks like and possibly why as well. If you need help trying to figure out what your calories are, we can help. Just private message Mac as well. He'll shoot me through, or we'll get in contact and we'll figure out what that is, and we can get you, working towards some numbers and all that. If you're watching this outside of the membership group, join the group and then contact Mac, and then we'll figure out all the ins and outs and all that and help you structure your week. But these numbers that I've just quickly jotted down in between recording the last part two, go watch that, to do with Mac. And so, I'm looking at Mac now, and I'm guessing that is about 95 kilos. He's been in a good paddock lately, and he's looking a little fluffy, but that's okay. He's 95 kilos, and he wants to lose 5 kilos because he's in Bali now, and he's in the sun's shining, and he wants to get the guns out. And so Mac is 95 kilos, and he wants to lose 5 kilos. Okay, and we know to lose 5 kilos, we need to be in a negative energy balance. Now, there's good ways to do that, and there are bad ways to do that. There are good ways to eat your micronutrients. Go see part two. However, let's just, for this sake, macro is a macro, calorie is a calorie, just for the numbers' sake. 1 kilo of fat has 7,700 calories. Alrighty, so that's an important number. And if science suggests that we need to lose, that it's sustainable and it does the least amount of metabolic damage to lose about 0.3 to 0.6 of a kilo of body weight per week, then let's just choose 0.5 for Mac. So 0.5 of a kilo of body fat is 3,850 calories. So Mac needs to have a negative energy balance of 3,850 calories for the week, which is important because we know that there's going to be a break in there where he's going to have some ice cream or he's going to have some pizza. No, he loves a pizza. And so 3,850 calories for the week. That will lose him half a kilo each week. And which means he'll get to his goal of 5 kilos in about 11 weeks with a diet break week in the middle. Make sense? If I'm losing you, go back, write it down, hit us up, and we can go through with you individually as well. So that's about 550 calories per day that Mac needs to be in a deficit in order for his body to go, hang on, I need more energy to do the things I need to do, and Mac's not feeding me. I've got to use fat. I've got to use something to make up the energy balance. 550 calories per day deficit. So if Mac's maintenance calories, that is just him as you see him right now, he's wearing a hat, but he does have beautiful hair, is 3,000 calories. Therefore, if he just consumes 3,000 calories on average most days, and he trains every now and then, and every second day or every day he does something, he moves his body, he doesn't put on weight, he doesn't lose weight. That's his maintenance calories. That's his resting metabolic rate, his thermic effect of food, his non-exercise accidental movement, all of the things that make up your total energy requirement for the day is 3,000. So that means that 21,000 calories Mac needs to consume per week to maintain his body weight. Now, if we take the 3,850 calories off that 21,000 calories, because we need 3,850 calorie deficit in order for him to lose half a kilo, that's 17,150 calories per week. Now, what that looks like for Mac, if Mac had come off the street and he said, Ty, I need to lose 5 kilos because I've got I've got this date with this hot girl and I just need to look the part. Like, come on, it's a shirts off party and all that and rah, rah. This is what I would structure for him. Okay, now there's a few ways to do it.
Can I interrupt there? So you're telling me that in 11 weeks, I've got to structure my perfect date. So that means I've got to go 11 weeks without a date, Ty. Mate.
You might need longer. You come to me when you actually have a date and then we'll discuss this. So what that looks like, and if Mac had to come to me as a client and said, help me out, brother, I would have him on Monday eating 2,130 calories. Okay. I would get him the night before to put that into some kind of calorie counter so he can actually structure it and look at what he's eating so he doesn't get to the end of the day and just eat Pop-Tarts like he said in part 2, why that's a bad idea, just to make up his macros. I would have him structured that out for the night before. Then on Tuesday, I would again have him 2,130 calories. And on Wednesday, 2,130 calories. If you remember from do we call them A or B or 1?
Part one. Yeah.
Yeah. If you remember from part 1, we don't want to be in a deficit for too long or our body will think we're starving and it will put the brakes on it and put up the self-defense mechanism. So that's when Thursday comes in. Now, if you're on the low calories on a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday, it might get tough on a Wednesday, but just know that on Thursday, Mac gets to go and have some pizza. He's got an intense workout plan for the afternoon and he's going to go out and have some pizza when he's more insulin sensitive. If that doesn't make sense, go and see part 2. There are good ways to do this and perfect ways, but he needs to consume 3,000. So on that day, he's telling his body he's not starving because that's we've already established that 3,000 calories was his maintenance. And so he's actually signaling to his body, actually, I'm going to give you the amount of energy that you need to perform today. Hey, turn the sirens off. We're not in starvation mode. It's all good. Everyone back to work. We're good. We don't need to put the brakes on. Then we follow that day with another 2,130 calories. So you've got a big deficit there. And the body might start going, hang on a second. He's starving us again. Come on, boys, let's go. Let's put the brakes on. And then on Saturday, I would have Matt consume 3,500 calories. So that is above his maintenance. Okay. And that's a day where he can go out for breakfast and have smashed avocado and, all the things the young kids are doing. And he can go to, I'll probably just name drop some Wodonga places because that's what I love. He can go get some Green Street and have a big salad or a burrito. And then he can go to Dash Espresso Bar and get a raw treat. And then he can go to Topolino, which is a great ice cream place in there. He can enjoy, love life, enjoy his company and eat 3,500 calories. And then on Sunday, I'd have him back to 2,130 calories. So on 2 days, he's gone out. On Thursday, he's gone out and had pizza with the boys. He might have even had a beer. That's okay. We're not going to tell anyone to never have a beer in the rest of their lives. But on Thursday is the day that he has 2 beers and pizza with the boys because that fits his calories there. On Saturday, he's gone out 3 times and he's had a raw treat, which is a better way to do it. If that doesn't make sense, go to part 2. It's got all the micronutrients. He's had a big salad from Green Shred or a burrito with double chicken, double bacon, or the peanut butter, the peanut sauce. You know, I'm salivating just talking about it, and I'm really struggling to get through that sentence. And then he's gone and had ice cream. And then you're telling me that he's losing weight? Yeah, I'm telling you he's losing weight. Because on the other days, he's eating to his DNA. He's breaking his fast with a DNA smoothie. He's, moving his body. And then he's having a DNA salad with a nice bit of lean meat. Probably, if I know Mac, he's probably going to go fish, chicken, white meat, salmon, something like that. He's going white. And he's going to lose 0.5 kilo of fat that week. And he's eating ice cream and pizza and all. See, it's not all about poached chicken and broccoli and being in a deficit for the rest of your life. It's just not. And actually, I would strongly advise against that. And so after you do that for 4 weeks, I would ask Mac to go on about 2,900 to 3,000 calories every day for a week, just as a diet break. And I say 2,900 to 3,000 because there might be some adjusting of the thermostat down. If that doesn't make sense, go back to part 1. And so 2,900 to 3,000 gives us a little bit of leeway. We're not expecting under this model, and the studies show there to be much metabolic adaptation in 4 weeks. So 3,000 would probably be fine for the whole week. And then we do it again. And then you just keep doing that as you get to your weight loss goal. And perfect. Mac's 100% right. As he said in part 1, I've said a Thursday and Saturday because that's what I do. I like the fact that it's a weekend that you can have some more calories because you've got more time usually to go out for dinner and you do all of those things. But if Tuesday you've got a work to do, swap Thursday for Tuesday. If Sunday you've got a kid's birthday party and you just can't say no to fairy bread, I just can't say no to fairy bread.
Everything is a reflection, mate.
Yeah, I know. And if me denying you the fairy bread means you're going to fall off the wagon and eat ice cream when you get home, and instead of having a nice good portion and you're satisfied with it, you're going to eat the whole bowl, then I want you to have a bit of fairy bread. So swap your Saturday for your Sunday.
Yeah, it's
all interchangeable, but the point is that a weekly deficit with some structured or strategic refeeds and increases in calories helps you psychologically and physiologically continue to keep the ball rolling one step at a time until you reach your goal. Hopefully that sort of makes sense. I'm a numbers kind of guy. I can get real numbers heavy and all that. That's my jam. I'm all the numbers, Mac's all the feelings. That's why he deals with the hormones and I deal with mindset. But if you're watching this and you're like, that makes sense, I wonder what my numbers are, please hit us up. We can do this for you. As a member in our team, we can help you do this. Now, we'll always advise you to hit your macros or hit your numbers if you do enter something like this with as many nutrient-dense foods as possible, because we know that aligns with our goals of health, vitality, and longevity. But we can help you with this if you just hit us up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can also accelerate that literally by eating foods that you are designed to eat versus not. So last time we spoke about, pro-inflammatory foods and anti-inflammatory foods. You might be consuming some foods. So for example, you might go out to pizza and you might have pizza, but it's a gluten-free base because you're avoiding gluten because that's the current trend. But you have cheese on it, right? And you don't know that you have an intolerance to lactose. Now, just because you may not have symptoms just because you may not be experiencing symptoms right now does not mean that on the cellular level, there's a lot of inflammation going on. So if you want to have your cake and eat it too, you want to know when to have your cake, you know what to have your cake. If you want the best holistic solution, calories, macros, micros, answers, an actual roadmap, a blueprint. Get your DNA tested. You are literally wasting time if you don't. You're wasting time just doing some guesswork. You could do the calories, it's a step forward. You could do the macros, it's a step forward. You really want to take big leaps forward. You want to go on a hot date in 11 weeks, 5 kilos lighter. Get your DNA tested. It's almost a non-negotiable. With the technology that's around these days, with the answers that you will have, with the results you will have, like, we're not designed to be overweight. We're not designed to be fighting chronic illnesses. We're not designed to wake up tired every day. So if you wake up tired, if you want more energy, if you're just having the 3 o'clock shut eyes at work and you rely on stimulants such as caffeine to get you going through the day, guys, you don't understand how good we are meant to feel, how strong we're meant to be in the gym, how much energy we're meant to have throughout the day. This shit happens naturally when you align yourself to your DNA. You want to take that one step further. Ty has just given you the numbers to get your DNA, put it on steroids. My question to you, Ty, because I thought about this while you were talking, and there might be someone out there going, yeah, well, how do I prevent muscle loss while doing this? Have you got any suggestions? Because when you track, just say calories, because as we've spoken about in this example, it's easy just to say a number is a number.
Yep.
How would someone make sure that the majority of that weight would be unwanted body fat versus muscle?
Yeah, and it's a really good question, and I get this a lot. I get this question a lot, and all we can do is set up an environment that we know based on science that limits the amount of muscle mass loss. We can never know because we don't have a dashboard like our car that says eat more protein now or we'll start to burn muscle mass as fuel. That would be awesome if Elon Musk is watching, come and get to work. But we don't have that yet. So all we can do is use the available evidence to guide us to set up the environment to do it. And so I work off a rule of thumb that if we take the calories, let's say we take Max 2130 calorie day, which is making up most of his deficit for 5 of those 7 days. I want him to be consuming about just under sort of 2 grams or 1.6 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So he needs to have some protein. And so in order to stop burning muscle mass for fuel, he needs to stimulate the muscle first. So he needs to keep training and all that. A lot of people think that if you're going to go on a deficit and lose body fat, you need to go out there and run. I'd probably stimulate the muscle in terms of resistance training, and it doesn't have to be heavy. But stress the muscle in resistance training, and then feed the muscle some protein so it can repair and recover. That is going to be your best way of preserving muscle mass while in a calorie deficit. And then pretty much the other calories outside of that are your fats and your carbohydrates. And I went strict ketogenic diet for 18 months. So that meant that my carbs were down at 5% and my fats were super high, like 70%. And protein made up the other 25%. And so that's when Mac's talking about calories versus macros and micros. Now we're into the macro level. And I can, and we can as a team, advise you based on your DNA report, what your macro makeup should look like based on the amount of calories you should have. And
yeah, absolutely.
So protein is important. Keep your protein, doesn't matter what you're eating or what nutritional prescription you have, protein should just stay the same. And carbs and fat pretty much oscillate. If you're in a ketogenic diet, fats are high, carbs are low. If you're on a low fat diet, then carbs are high, fats are low. I don't know anyone who's recommending that diet anymore, but that's stimulate the muscle and then enough protein for it to recover.
Yeah, awesome. 3 things. First and foremost, remove the guesswork, do your DNA test. You'll find out your percentage of fats and carbs and all like that throughout the day. Second thing is, there's a lot of people that have more than 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. There are surprising, I can't quote any now because I've seen a few, but I can't remember. So I'm not gonna lie to you here. But the research now suggests that too much protein will restrict years off your life. So just watch how much protein you're having. The optimal level would be 0.7 to 1 gram without exercise. If you're doing exercise, Ty, you said what, 1.6, 1.7?
1.5, yeah, 1.5-ish is what I typically recommend if you're doing resistance training.
Yeah, perfect. Which is
intense training.
Which is far different from those bodybuilding websites that you would go in and say you need 2 to 3 to 4 grams. That just really puts a lot of stress on your kidneys. The third thing I wanted to mention is if you're in a calorie deficit, and maybe you're struggling to get your protein intake, you could potentially focus on, you've got your calories, you've got your macros, the next level might be your micros. So proteins get broken down into things called amino acids. So there's some good amino acids out there that you could use when you're in a deficit to trick your body to go, oh, my muscles aren't starving, but so I must use my fat. Because remember that analogy I said in the kitchen in part 2, or maybe part 1, go back, protein's in the kitchen. Your body can use protein before it wants to use its fat. But if you have some branched chain amino acids, or even just some essential amino acids, and one of them is L-glutamine. L-glutamine is fantastic at preventing your muscles from going catabolic or atrophy. So hypertrophy is growth, atrophy is shrinkage. So just if you are in a calorie deficit and you want to maximize your strength while you're doing resistance training in a deficit, and you want to maximize or prevent muscle being lost during a calorie deficit, you can have some branched chain amino acids. And the number one I would say would go for L-glutamine.
Agreed.
Cool, man. Does this wrap up the third and final part? Is there going to be a fourth and final part?
I wish you'd stop saying this is turning into a John Farnham concert, man. It's just it's farewell tour that just never ended.
No, well, I think I think that's probably enough on having your cake and eat it too. And this came about because people on Instagram voted yes. So if you are not following us, or even if you're following, let us know what you want to see more of, because we're here to help. We're here to give you answers. And we're going to sign off here. Take 1% at a time. One step at a time. And guys, if you don't know what to do, just do something. Hopefully, this mini 3-part series has given you some action steps on something that you can just take one step, something that you can just do 1% better than yesterday, and something that you just can do something for. So thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate all of you guys, and obviously females listening to this. Hit us up via socials, Instagram at Unrivaled Being. Hit us up via our website if you want to know more. You can drop us a message through that as well. And you can also hit Ty and myself up through our social media platforms at Mac Rundle and at Ty Seaton. Any closing words?
At Garage Fit Guy.
That's the one. At Garage Fit Guys. Thanks, guys. See you later.